welcome to Creations with X. Today I am going to be teaching you 3 different methods you can use to start crocheting circularly. So grab your yarn and grab your hook and let's get started. So first of all, not every method will require a slip knot. So the first one I'm going to show you is a technique called the magic ring. So the magic ring, you don't actually make a slip knot, you just kind of make a loop, go in, then you just kind of sort of chain one, and you would start crocheting normally. So say you had let's just say a half double crochet foundation ring that you needed to do, or a magic loop, you just start crocheting in this ring, make all the stitches that you need to, and then you could just simply cinch it closed. This is a very popular method for starting to crochet things in the round due to its ability to just kind of pull itself together. It would be like a full loop if I had done more stitches. But one thing about it is that it can kind of sort of come apart. It doesn't kind of have to sometimes like retug it. It does come apart fairly easily though. The second method is you will need a chain for. So just make a slip knot like so, and insert the loop onto your hook. So for this method is you're going to be doing 2 chains. You're going to do 1 chain, make it a bit loose, so you don't pull it too tight. So if you need to, you can always go back, give it a bit extra yarn, and then you're going to chain a second time. Now this method and the last method I am going to show you are quite similar, so just keep that in mind. This is good for a single crochet. So this is good for a single crochet starting chain. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your hook, go into that loop, and let's say you're doing a single crochet starting chain, or single crochet circular. You're going to go in and you're just going to kind of crochet. I personally, when I do this method a lot personally, and when I like to do it, I like to work over the tail, so you can give yourself a bit of a way to cinch it up after you. Right. Usually I'll wrap it twice, but you don't have to do that. See, so that's kind of what that method looks like, and if I give it a little cinch, it can kind of pull itself closed a little bit. Again, I would recommend like kind of looping it around like that and crocheting over it just to give it a bit more something to grab onto to keep it taut. I'm going to demonstrate the same method in a different stitch, just so you can maybe see some differences. So chain 1. For a different stitch, you would just do the correct amount of stitches. So let's say I'm doing half double crochet, which is the general correct amount of stitches is generally 2, so I would just chain 2, go into that first stitch, and do that. So, or you could just do it the reverse way and kind of go crochet over it like this. Then kind of loop it back around and crochet over it again. So like I'm demonstrating now, or well, trying to demonstrate. Should probably wrap it first. It doesn't matter. So kind of like this. You just want to make sure it's like that. That'll just give you a bit of extra tension to pull it closed with. So then I would find the end, get a bit of a tug. There. It does cinch up much better when you do like multiple. So that's what you would do for half double crochet, for like different stitches. Just do the correct stitch count and you'll be fine. This last method is, again, similar to the one I just showed you, and also similar to the first one. What you're going to do is you're going to chain a couple stitches, maybe like 3, 4. Usually, if you're going to do this method, the pattern you are using will give you like a specific amount, but 4 is generally pretty good. So what you're going to do is then you're going to go into that first stitch. You're going to perform what is called a slip stitch. Now, a slip stitch is really quite easy. All it involves is going into the stitch, pulling the yarn through, and then pulling that one loop through your first. So it's kind of like chaining through a stitch. So chaining is like this. It's a bit similar to that, except you're just going through a stitch. So it'd be like that. A bit of an extra step, really. Or a barrier, if you want to think of it that way. This is, I believe, what is called a foundation ring. Not a magic rings aren't foundation rings. Or, well, technically they are, but this is more of a foundation ring, I believe. So this one is, as you can see, much more solid than the other one. You can't really tighten it unless you go over your yarn tail. So like I'm going to show you, I'm going to do. Just kind of wrap it behind. So I'll have like an extra loop. Then I'll go into that. Oop. It just gives it a bit more of a way to cinch it closed, and it'll stay for it to stay. So this one you can make as big or small as you would like to. This is, again, like I say, a bit more of a combination between the first one, the magic loop, and the second one, because it's kind of because you got the chains and you got the big loop. So, just to kind of demonstrate, like, you can't really pull it closed unless you crochet over the tail and give it a tug. Like, that way you can kind of cinch this up a little bit. But it's still not the best. Like, the stitches are too tight. So this would be more for if you were crocheting something that needed maybe a bigger hole in the center, or just didn't need to be tightened up as much. But yeah, it's very simple once you get the hang of it. For single crochet, you can also work this in single crochet too. Like, could do a couple more stitches. This is just whatever that your pattern requires. So slip stitch, then I'll just chain one, and I'll demonstrate what single crochet looks like in this. Yeah. So again, just gonna crochet over that tail. Also, crocheting over the tail ends when you're crocheting circularly really helps when you go to finish your project and you have to weave all those ends in. Because if you think about it, you're kind of weaving the end in as you go, like you're crocheting over that tail, and when you pull it tight, then you just, at the end of your round, you'll pull it tight, you can just cinch it tight, and it will be, you can just cut it off, because it'll be woven in already, which is something that I really like about that. So here you go. And I only did one this time, so single crochet in the round. You can see I can just pull it tight. Kind of cinches up a bit weirdly, So that's why if you're gonna do, that's why like the second is like my favorite method. But see, single crochets. For turning, there's also several things you could do. You could chain the specific amount and then move on to your next row around. So let's say you come to the end of the row, you could slip stitch to join, which is what usually happens. So see, just kind of pull through that all at once. I could chain one and then start just crocheting, skipping the one I slip stitched into, which is usually the chain. Oh, hang on. Appear to be hooking again. Oops. Or I could do and just continue as normal. See, so it's like traditional professional row, and then I would just slip stitch to join and keep doing that. Or another thing some people do instead of slip stitching to join is you just skip that altogether and you just keep crocheting. I know some people, so you just kind of make it a continuous spiral, so to speak. Again, really depends on what you're working on or your preferences. I really don't mind doing either one. Just sometimes it's good to know that both options exist. Oh, yarn appearance. So as you can see, both methods work, and it just kind of depends on your style or the pattern itself. But you can do this with all three methods. Well, thank you for watching my tutorial on 3 different ways to start crocheting in the round circularly, like three different ways to start. I wish you good luck in learning how to crochet and learning how to crochet circularly. Bye!